What's up, Dark Judges, Desperados, and Dudes in Dick-Shaped Helmets? It's Heavy Metal Kid from Cursed Earth Radio here. I just want to take a minute to show you this cool piece of terrain that we discovered in our travels across the internet. Looking for stuff to use for the Judge Dredd miniatures game, we came across a site for a company called Black Site Studio. Black Site Studio is a wargaming terrain maker, and all of their, or many of their items come in the 28mm scale that the Judge Dredd miniatures game pieces are scaled at. So it works perfectly. The other cool thing about this company is that they offer pre-painted terrain, and that was a huge selling point for us because painting terrain can be a major pain in the ass. Unless you've got an airbrush, it's almost a completely futile experience trying to get your coats of paint consistent across such a large area. So you don't have to worry about that with Black Site Studio. This piece in particular is called the Sunrise Diner, and we loved it because it reminded us of Hottie House, one of Mega City 1's largest and most popular food chains. So we've actually started the process of trying to convert this into a Hottie House. To do that, we just purchased this plastic hot dog in a children's cookout play set, and we mounted it on top of the sign that used to say Sunrise Diner. You can see we just cut the bun and cut off a portion of the sign and slid that on there. That's actually probably not what we're going to end up doing in the end. I think what we're thinking of doing now is mounting this hot dog on here or something like that, and then using stickers to make a Hottie House logo. Additionally, the plan is also to put a Hottie House logo here, or get a giant hot dog, like way bigger than this, and mount it on top, or something like that, to give it a little bit more of that zany Mega City 1 character. I think this specific terrain piece and the other terrain pieces that Black Site sells in this same series are kind of made for a Fallout wasteland sort of game, and that works perfectly if your setting is the Cursed Earth. But additionally, if you read the 2000 AD and Judge Dredd magazine, or magazine, you will notice that Hottie House kind of looks like an old school diner, so that's perfect just as it is. So with very little effort, you can make a Mega City 1 accurate representation of Hottie House. Let me show you how this works. So top actually comes off, and this is all wood. Comes in a wooden kit with about 13 billion pieces. So it seems a little daunting at first, but it wasn't too bad. I'd say I got this thing finished in like 3 hours, and I was watching movies and just kind of hanging out while I did it. So it wasn't really a stressful endeavor. So give you a little tour around there. So a lot of just nice little elements that they added on, like this fan, the exhaust for the grill on the inside. The doors are on hinges, so you can open and close those. Depending on how well you sort of get this thing put together, there's always that potential for things not to line up or fit as they should. So I would recommend using some Loctite gel super glue, which is what I used for this, and I ended up using about 3 small bottles of Loctite for this, but I was able to sort of push things and move things around with that control gel, whereas the standard super glue requires you to be a little bit more exacting. I did use that super glue on the top here and some other pieces because I ran out, but I would say the Loctite gel glue really helped me be able to sort of mush some of these pieces together to get everything to fit. So certainly would recommend that. Let me show you the inside now, and everything's in disarray because I've been moving this thing around, but you can see it comes with little benches and tables if you want to have those just kind of sitting around in there, or even toss them outside and use them as cover terrain or whatever. So just cool little additions that they didn't have to add in there, but they did. Here is the grill, and I think it's probably one of my favorite aspects of this model. I mean, you can even see it has little handles that you glue on there, and it just looks really great. I was really impressed with this whole kit, and the price as well. I mean, for something that's pre-painted and that has this much detail and looks this cool on the table, I felt like this was a pretty good value. And I don't exactly remember how much it was, so you'll have to go check it out yourself, but for me it was definitely worth every penny. I would say when you're putting this together, just be aware that all of the interior walls on the inside of Sunrise Diner should be this color, the tan, and not the dirty cardboard sort of color, because I glued this wall on backwards, and that's kind of messed things up a little bit as far as me being able to have this door on the hinges. And it really doesn't bother me a whole lot. I just ended up gluing the door against the wall so that it looks like it's open all the time. I don't really foresee us opening and closing doors during our game. You know, we'll probably just pick the figure up and set them in there. So that's not a big deal, but I would hate to see you make the same mistake that I did if you can avoid it. So, yeah, this is a really nice looking piece, and I just felt like the vibe of Hottie House was really close to this one. So in looking for something that matched up with my understanding of Mega City and the different establishments therein, thought this was great. So if you're interested, go check out blacksitestudio.com. We're not being paid to advertise them, or you know, we have nothing to do with Blacksite other than the fact that I think their product is really cool, and once I got this and saw it in the flesh and had the experience of putting it together, I was even more impressed. And you can see it just, you know, I mean, it just looks right with these fatties hanging out in front of this Hottie House, waiting for their 2 tons of hot dogs that they ordered, and pissing off all of these sugar addicts, punk rockers that are waiting in line behind them. So yeah, there you go. We will keep posting videos because we have a really large piece of terrain from Blacksite Studio called Astro Mart that's in the same vein, and it's like a massive piece of terrain that we're looking forward to playing with, but not really looking forward to putting together. But we will do that, and we will post videos of that too, so you can check that out. While you're here, if you haven't checked out our podcast, Cursed Earth Radio, please do that. That's our main gig. We only traffic in board gaming if it has something to do with Judge Dredd, Rogue Trooper 2000 AD, any of those affiliated properties, because we don't care about anything else here at Cursed Earth Radio. Our mission is to bring dread to the dreadless. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. This is Heavy Metal Kid, Cursed Earth Radio. Have a good one.